So a few days ago on Twitter, my boy Rogers Base posted some very controversial, and it caught my attention. Oh yes, Jujutsu Kaisen, JJK versus My Hero Academia, MHA. Which one is better? So as an anime-only watcher of both Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero Academia, I was like, you know what? I want to give my 2 cents. Yeah, it says, I want to do a quick little video on this subject because it piqued my interest. So Roger has succeeded absolutely in stirring the hornet's nest. Congratulations. And of course, shout out to the Mammoth Boys, the Mega Church of Katakuri. As the head priest, I recognize the power of the Mammoth Boys. That being said, though,
blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill.
So first of all, I don't think I have to get to animation. I don't think so, because even though My Hero has some good scenes here or there, like for example, last season, you have the overhaul versus, I think it's the High-End Nomu. That was great animation for that fight, absolutely. Like Hawks, I remember that Hawks backpedal, that was sexy. That was very sexy. And then, of course, before that, Midoriya versus Overhaul animation was on point. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Midoriya, that was cool as all hell. However, on the regular, we all know, keep it a buck, baby. Stop lying if you say otherwise. Stop lying.
Why?
JJK animation is hot. JJK animation is delicious, man. It's a 5-star restaurant steak, ribeye steak. You can't go wrong. It is so freaking good on the regular. So for My Hero Academia, there are certain scenes where it's like pretty good, but then for the most part, it's all right. But in JJK, it's really good on the regular, and then when they take it up a notch, Mappa's doing wonders, and that's the honest to God truth. That's the honest to God truth. Now, in terms of world building, because the characters aren't safe for last. In terms of world building, I think JJK is better in terms of world building, but not by that much. Again, at this point in time, I'm an anime-only watcher. I have not read the manga for a while, for a very long time. And JJK hopped into the anime raw. So again, My Hero Academia and JJK I think is a bit better, though I think MHA has more potential. Though to be fair, you could easily argue that My Hero does have more world building because it has more potential, a lot more potential. But I would say because we're 4 seasons deep and we haven't even come close to reaching that potential of world building, it's just wasted at this point in time. I would say that thus far, the best content in My Hero in terms of world building in the anime has been the overall stuff with the Mafia content. The Mafia content I thought was actually pretty cool, seeing its effects on society at large. I've always found it very strange that Horikoshi, in terms of the anime, that's for, again, at this point in time in the anime, Horikoshi has never really elaborated on other parts of the world and what's going on in their countries in terms of the hero-villain dynamic. Especially for All Might, where All Might is clearly, obviously, United States themed and heavy. We get nothing in terms of the USA, what's going on there. Let's say if they go to the USA, or if they go to China, if they go to France or Britain, that kind of stuff. My Hero Academia has so much potential in terms of world building, but it never ever goes that far. Number 2 is, in terms of depth, MHA is pretty good, I think, in terms of world building depth, the things involving One for All and All for One, and the villain-hero dynamic. In particular, the gentle criminal stuff I think was actually a very good representation of that in terms of how deep, in terms of world building, the series can be. Because characters like that exist in My Hero Academia, it does add to the world building in a good way. But JJK has, I think, a bit more depth. And just to clarify, when I say the depth of the world building, I mean the backbone of the world building. So let's say, for example, the history of the world itself, and how that history of the world impacts the characters and impacts the story. Think of, let's say, power structures and power systems, not only in terms of societal power structures, but also think of actual combat power structures, and how these things also have an impact on the story itself. When you have things like Sukuna, that's like 1,000 years deep, and how that plays a role in the other curses, and how the other curses understand the power of Sukuna, and how his fingers influence the world of JJK, and how we've had already in the series collaborative efforts with other schools, and then seeing the effects of the clans on the students, in particular the Zenin clan and their effect on Maki and Mai. And then when it comes to structure, I prefer JJK worlds over MHA. And the main thing is this: MHA Downtime, for me, is brutal. JJK has, you can say, a Naruto-ish model, where they go out on certain missions, whether it's investigation, whether it is destroying a curse of some kind. They go on various missions, which does keep things relatively interesting in terms of structure and pace. My hero, though, when it's downtime, oh my goodness, it is Resident Sleeper 101. Just
wake up.
I'm telling you, if not for the Gentle Criminal and Midoriya fight in the last season, I would have dropped, or I would have stopped watching season 4 and wait for season 5. Cause the festival stuff, snooze fest. It's not my speed. Some folks love it.
No.
If it's a slice of life series and then you come into it with that expectation, okay, fair enough, fine. To each their own. But My Academia, though it is slice of life oriented given the school, sometimes those downtimes hit, and they hit really hard. Like you took a whole bunch of melatonin that night and a Z-Quil. You out. Now, finally, the last bit for this video, the characters. Ah, yeah. Here's the thing, keep it in a buck. My Hero Academia, on the regular, I think, has better written characters than JJK. But JJK, I don't think is that far behind. Because My Hero has better characters, I would argue, simply in terms of just time. Where it's been around for longer, the anime has been, therefore more time to flesh out more characters. But JJK, I mean, with the Junpei stuff, whoo, the Junpei, that caught me off guard. We were getting pretty deep, and it was happening relatively quickly for the characters of JJK, which impressed me. The Junpei stuff and Itadori's ideals being challenged that quickly, and how he had to go against his own ideals so quickly, that's a problem. Okay, not bad at all. Fushiguro has some depth to him, absolutely. Kugisaki, not necessarily so much as Itadori or Fushiguro, but at the same time, with the Zenin class stuff involving Maki and Mai, that has some depth, that has some absolute depth to it too, especially the fact that Maki, she can't even see cursed spirits. Here's the thing, I don't think at this point in time, in JJK, there's a character as good as, let's say, Bakugo. But Bakugo, I would argue, is one of the best characters in the series. The two best characters in MHA, as an anime watcher, I would argue, are Endeavor and Bakugo. By a mile. By a mile. Again, anime-only watcher. I would say those two are the cream of the crop. When it comes to main characters, Midoriya, he changes and he develops. True, fair enough. But if Itadori's ideas are being challenged this quickly into the series, and there's so much more to come, especially with Sukuna, where Sukuna is like the old school nine-tailed fox, so he's not messing around. Like, he's not giving Itadori fist bumps. No, Sukuna is and Sukuna's own depth, and how that could elevate the depth of all the curses themselves, especially Mahito, Hanami, Geto, all these dudes. It's like, yo, like the potential in terms of character, I would argue, is actually superior than the My Hero cast. Absolutely. Especially when it comes to the supporting cast characters. Class 1A pisses me off a little bit. I ain't gonna front. Class 1A just gets me a little bit tweaked at times, because there are some punk ass dudes in this class. And I'm like, why? Who are you? What the f is your value? Like, for real. Just a bunch of random niggas. For example.
6.5 hours later.
Alright, so real quick, I I thought about it for a second, but hold on. Who are these people? I don't know. Okay, so real quick, Aoyama he's trash. I don't care. Mina is kind of bubbly and cool, but who really cares? Ojiro, like who? Koda and Sato are absolutely worthless. Absolute dead air. Nothing of value or of substance.
Bro, you're trash, bro. Is them tears, bro?
If these people died, I want a bad night. In fact, I would say good. Now we can finally have some genuine dudes, like let's say some guys in class 1B, they come in to actually have some more substance. Who, like really? Shoji. Who is this nigga? Like what? Shut up. And then finally, the worst of the worst, Toru Hagakure, the invisible girl. Worthless. If you compare those guys to, let's say, the Kyoto school, like not the Tokyo one, like where the Mechas characters are, but the Kyoto one, Toto and the boys. Oh, come on, man. Mai, Toto, Mekamaru, all of these characters just have way more weight and way more substance, and we're only 20 episodes deep. I still don't know what this invisible girl even does. She's just there. And again, I know some manga readers, oh, can you? Relax. Take some ZQL. Or just watch the festival again. That's what I have to Look here! At the end of the day, I like My Hero, which is why I continue to watch My Academia. Absolutely. But I ain't gonna front. JJK has been outstanding. And there's one last point too. In terms of substance, yes, the JJK cast, you can argue, are a little bit lacking compared to the My Hero cast, but not by that much, I'd argue. But in a general sense, the JJK cast is just way funnier. As a main character, I'm not a fan of the Midoriya model. I'm really not. Itadori Yuji, yo, he's dope, son. Itadori is funny. He is funny, he is dope. The man is like a best friend. Totally Itadori, that dynamic was dope as all hell. And then how that winds up playing out with the baseball. I'm telling you, in a general sense, in terms of comedy, JJK kills it. It kills it. The K in JJK is kills. Oh man, I laugh out loud on the regular. Like you'll see in my streams, which of course I have my Patreon, link in the box below, obviously. You'll see in those reactions, it is funny. It is funny, man. So even though Gojo is not as good a character as, let's say, Bakugo, the same for Fushiguro, the same for all these other characters, these characters, I would argue, are just way cooler and way funnier and way more fun just to watch on a regular basis compared to the My Hero cast, where the comedy's there, but it doesn't hit anywhere even close to as good. I mean, just consider the training. That's how you know you're a dope sensei. When this dude, Gojo, has Itadori watching movies, I'm like, yo, I'm telling you, JJK anime is different. There's a reason why JJK right now is popping, anime and manga. It is popping, and it looks like at this point in time, JJK might just in fact be the next biggest thing in Japan and potentially across the world. It is on fire. That's how good it is, and for obvious reason. So My Hero Academia season 5 coming real soon, I think in a few months. Awesome. But at this point in time, anime-wise, JJK looking like a much better watch. Woo! If you're new to anime and you gotta pick one, My Academia or JJK, you gotta go with JJK right now. JJK is delicious. So at this point in time, JJK gets the W over My Hero Academia. Once again, shout outs to Rogers based on the Mammoth Boys. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Be sure to let me know your stance. Please do on the subject matter at hand, of course, in the comment section down below. I'm gonna see y'all later. Stay safe. Have a nice one.